عليهم كتاب الله فجر غادرون.
But hatred for the West is not limited to the Islamic world. Radical Islam has for years been spreading its ideology in the West. This jihad rally is taking place on the streets of London.
The infiltration of radical Islam is so deep, it's shocking. And everyone's in denial about it. The minute you say, oh, this is an extremist group, you know, all of a sudden it's, oh, you're not being politically correct.
You have al-Muhajirun, who's an open-fledged terrorist entity, speaking out on the streets, calling for Muslims to jihad against Britain.
We've been infiltrated by people who want the Quran to replace our constitution.
أنا رحت سنة 95 لقيت خطب بتقول إن هم منطلقين للبيت الأبيض خلاص من المساجد، من بعض المساجد.
يعني إيه منطلقين للبيت الأبيض؟
يعني كان واحد بيقول في خطبته إن إحنا ذاهبون دلوقتي إلى البيت الأبيض علشان إن شاء الله ينتصر الإسلام ويتحول البيت الأبيض إلى البيت المسلم.
يعني هيروحوا يحتلوا البيت الأبيض يعني ولا؟
لا، بسواد الإسلام وأفكاره سوف يتغير البيت الأبيض.
Hamas has the largest infrastructure of all terrorist organizations on American soil today.
They are not trying to be part of the American way of life. They are not trying to be part of our culture. They are here with an agenda to make Islam the law of the land.
Just to show where our loyalty belongs to. You see this flag here? It's going to go on the floor. And to us, our loyalty does not belong to this flag. Our loyalty belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Takbir! Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar!
Of course, not all Muslims are like that. But we've been infiltrated with this kind of agenda. And America has to wake up because we are strangling ourselves with our political correctness.
There is tremendous deception in terms of saying one thing publicly and another thing privately. Yasser Arafat obviously was the master of this dual agenda in terms of openly supporting pluralism or non-violence or condemning terrorism.
I condemn completely these terrorist activities.
And then secretly or behind closed doors supporting it.
Sometimes you would find a Muslim who appears to be moderate.
We were the first, as you may remember, post September the 11th, who said that the actions of flying planes full of innocent civilians into buildings is not legitimate.
But in his deeds, he's not as moderate as he is.
We are here to talk about the Magnificent 19. Those who 2 years ago today split the world into two camps, into the camp of Islam and the camp of non-Islam or kufr. Those who revived the obligation of jihad worldwide.
The Magnificent 19, they were praising the hijackers, celebrating the attacks on New York.
The deception is so high and so successful that I'm afraid we're losing the battle.
In order to expose British terror groups like Al-Muhajirun and supporters of Sharia, Glenn Genvy collaborated with Jonathan Galt and acquired recordings of the group's meetings held in London mosques. The tapes reveal open incitement to violence and terror, in particular from Abu Hamza al-Masri, who calls upon followers to kill the kuffar or non-Muslims.
What makes Allah happy? Allah is happy when the Kafirs get killed.
Abu Hamza, in one of the clips, is talking about the word kufar, that if you are not a Muslim and you live in a Muslim land, you are like a cow. That's his word.
You see, the Islamic thing, if a Catholic goes into a Muslim country and he's walking by, he's like a cow, but anybody could take him. That is the Islamic rule, and this is the opinion of the fuqaha. It's not my opinion. If you read the books of jihad, you'll see.
You can take him to market You can sell him.
Kafir is walking by. He went inside. You catch him. What are you doing here? Then he's a brute. You can sell him the market.
You can kill him.
If Muslims cannot take them to and sell them in the market, then you just kill them. It's okay.
Hamza's a speaker. He brainwashes people. He gets funding. He sends them to commit murder abroad.
Al-Mujahirun is a UK-based Islamic pressure group with offices in Pakistan. 25-year-old Abdul Salam grew up in London's Brick Lane. Now he's a recruiter for the Taliban.
What's your involvement in recruiting and training young British Muslims?
The Muslims from Britain, there's hundreds of them that come over from Britain to Pakistan or Afghanistan. And what we do is we supply them with weapons, clothing, we feed them, we shelter them.
Yeah, I'm British born, British bred.
Are you willing to kill British soldiers?
I'm willing to kill British soldiers simply because of the fact that they're engaging in a war that is against my brethren.
The links from the UK go abroad and back. This is what makes it a global problem. If you take the London bombings, the bombers were from Britain. They were from the city of Leeds, a 2-hour drive north of London. British Muslims, but British.
I and thousands like me have forsaken everything for what we believe. We are at war, and I'm a soldier. Now you too will taste the reality of this situation.
We are living with them. They are here. They're not outside our borders. They are here.
So when you ask, is radical Islam a threat to Europe? Of course it is, because you find this large and growing minority population that is growing more and more radical and rejects more and more blatantly, overtly, and stridently the societies in which they operate.
They are using our laws against us. They are using our democracy against us. And they know it. They know exactly what they're doing.
When you think just from a military perspective, forgetting everything else, the September 11th hijackers trained for their mission to attack the United States inside the United States of America. That is something unbelievable. Here, these 19 Arab Islamic fundamentalists come to the United States, dress like Americans, get American driver's license, register in American flight schools, and in American flight schools, they learn how to destroy the World Trade Center with American jetliners. That is an unbelievable thing. That means that you don't need necessarily to have geographical territory at your disposal, because you can use the geography, use the territory of your enemies in order to destroy your enemies. That is the most postmodern type of warfare we've ever seen.
I think the world, despite the number of attacks in various countries, is still in denial. They don't want to believe that someone has declared war on them.
It gives a scary look inside the extremist world.
Oh, it's chilling. It is chilling.
It is shocking beyond belief.
This needs to be seen by everybody in America, in Europe.
Do you think Americans grasp? Well, you can definitely get an incredible education by watching this film, Obsession.
This film, Obsession, is without exaggeration one of the most important films of our time. You must see it.